Today, we have a Land Rover Defender. It has a Puma engine. I think it's a 2.7 liter diesel. It's a Ford base engine. It's a really popular engine and everything. So he came here, it had some codes, it wasn't starting. I scanned it, because it is OBD2. And it told me injector, circuit, whatever. So I looked for pack rat damage, couldn't find anything. And then it told me crank position sensor. And I started looking at it, and then I realized it was just jiggling. I'm gonna show you what I found on there, and then we're gonna fix it. All right, so I unplugged the crank position sensor, so don't worry about that. And you see that bolt holds the crank position sensor in. That bolt, way back in there, you can see, it also holds the crank position, crank position sensor in, but it just holds the bracket that the crank position sensor goes to. On this side, we have oh, there it is, yeah. So that hole is where a bolt is supposed to be. And so the crank position sensor reads off of the flywheel, and you can see it's been grinding on the flywheel. You can actually see the tip. That's the tip of the crank position sensor, so there's a little chunk coming off of that. But that's been cleaned off pretty good, and it's actually got some grooves in it, which the grooves, I can only guess, is from the missing bolt. So we're doing a clutch because someone couldn't tighten this crank position sensor. And the best part about this, I have no information on this vehicle. It's not in all data because it never came to the US. Yay. This is one of those instances where I don't know because I don't do off-roady stuff. So this is an e-brake for the rear drive shaft. I'm guessing it has, maybe if it's like stuck and the rear tires are spinning and you only want the front to spin, I don't know. Or maybe that's just the e-brake for the truck. I've seen some things, but I ain't seen this before. All right, British people. If this is normal for these, I don't know what to say. So you see these, right? 14, 15, okay? 14, no fit, okay? 15, this got some wobble, right? This one, right? That's pretty good. Oh look, I found the right size, right? Oh, that's the right size. What? 9/16. Where's the metric? This is the first bolt I touch on this thing. All right, so we got the parking brake here, and I will say there was a lot, or 3 of the bolts / screws were loose for this, so not great, but I'm just gonna disconnect the cable so that we can detach the tranny from the car, but we gotta take this off to get in there. All right, so I got the e-brake cable off, and I wanted to show you guys how I did it. So essentially I used 2 long needle nose, one to pull this back, the spring, the other one to grab the cable and hold the spring back so that it can sit there. And then I got a screwdriver underneath it to pry this up. There's the little e-brake piece right here. So I pried that up and then pulled it up and out. And so when I put it back together, I'm just gonna have to push that up, slide it back down, and then I don't have to take the shoes off, which is wonderful because I don't know about you, but I hate doing shoes. Well, that's gonna be fun to put on. Oh, there's supposed to be a bolt in it. There wasn't, but that hole is threaded. Everything is a nut and a bolt. And in the worst position to get anything on it. Or it doesn't come apart, like the lower part of these. I can't get those apart. So I'm just unbolting the big part. All right, thank you. I don't know if he was having problems getting into four-wheel drive, but I found something. Just kind of a bolt sitting there, and it's... There we go. Look at that. You gotta see if all I have to do is take off these things or the Torx bits here, which one of them is missing. Well, that's nice. And then that one, someone tried to bite it off or something. I don't know. Someone's been in there that shouldn't have. That's pretty much what I'm coming across right now. There's some stuff up here that I'm not super familiar with, and like I said, I don't have all data or anything to look it up. So I'm trying to look at this. You see the little orange thing way back in there? So that pops up, and that allows you to adjust for that silver rod, and that's for the shifter in there for the four-wheel drive stuff. And I got it popped out, and it moves up and down, but it ain't coming out. So I'm just kind of in my own little world, you know. What do we do here? Once I get that shifter undone so I can separate them, once I get the shifter undone so I can separate everything, it's a few connectors, grabbing the tranny jack, sagging the engine, and unbolting it. I did have to unbolt this engine mount and lift the engine up to get the cat out because it sits on top of this frame and it's got a welded on bracket that hits the engine, so it was fun to get out. All right, so we're going to try to get this grabbed on here as best as we can. For right now, I'm going to go up because I think it's sagging down too much. But everything should be off. Yeah, it's a snap-on 2x4. It only cost me 6 payments of $450 and my firstborn child. Sorry, Eleanor. I will say, though, thank you to whoever was in here before me for leaving the 4 bell housing bolts loose. That made this so much easier. I mean, not loose, out. The 4 top ones, which actually there's only 3 on the top, and there was 1 on this side that was up, and all 4 of those were just gone, which kind of explains the crank position sensor. So we are clear. And since this is the first time I've ever taken one of these out, we're gonna watch up top to make sure that nothing gets caught, and I actually unplugged everything.
Here it's still clipped in.
Wait! Is it a 14? I have a 15. Let me check the 15. 14, motherfucker. You know what? If we've gotten this far and it's gonna be a 9/16, I'm gonna throw something. 14, all right, good. Look at that.
Well, we cracked
Look
the
at
case. That's what
This is RTV on a banjo bolt. What? Oh my God, people. Some people just shouldn't touch cars. You got that? All right. That's another bolt just like the one for the shifter. Someone who shouldn't be touching cars was playing with this thing, and how is everything forgotten? And then we can see this is the crank position sensor. I'm going to take this off and oh yeah, that ain't going to work too well. I don't think that bolt was even put in.
No, there are
So
no marks from any bolt.
the only bolt they put in loosened up. That's not good.
Yes.
Dude, this thing got destroyed. Look at that. I don't know if that light's messing it up, but look at that. That's eaten pretty good. We're going to replace the slave cylinder, all the little tidbits in here for it that connect the line on. We got a new clutch. We got a brand new flywheel. Because like I said, it's got that grinding on there, and maybe it would have worked. Maybe this happened before, and that's why they came in here and left all the bolts out. And then we have a new rear main seal for it, which we might show you that, but it's definitely leaking. Flywheel's off. You can see it's definitely leaking around the rear main. I'm going to clean all this up and then do that. However, from, the guy whoever put this together that we're finding out, I am going to have to take a grinder in this area, which I normally don't do. However, if you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that one looks different. So if you notice, it's been ground on, and it's a different size. That's because that's not supposed to be there. So we have this mark right here, which rust has gotten to it. And, yeah. However, the clutch looked pretty new. And I was like, oh, well, what the hell then? Who did this? And then I flipped this around, and I was like, oh, this guy did. And you can see it's got a lot of heat on it. This is the discoloration that we've got going on here. But I don't think we'll be able to get on camera. You might be able to see a little bit. There is a ridge here. This flywheel has been pad slapped. And pad slapping is a no-no for brakes. Even more so for a brand new clutch disc. And I'm going to show you why. And it's the same reason with brake pads. So if we get this here, I'll try to get some reflection. So if you look at the reflection, you'll see, dull spots and super shiny spots, okay? Dull spots are where it's been contacted. Shiny spots are where this clutch hasn't contacted. And that's because the flywheel is not flat. This side is pretty uniform all the way around it, right? Which is weird because guess what you get in a clutch kit? A brand new pressure plate, which has a perfectly flat disc and is not heat warped, right? So, and then we got gearbox side here, so this is definitely not the flywheel side. So, yeah, this poor guy, I don't know if he had the clutch done, but we're doing a clutch twice because someone is lazy. We got all the new parts. I'm going to start going through that, but this is essentially why we're here. And as I'm going to reiterate, it's because this sensor wasn't installed correctly, left out bolts. And the flywheel, you could see the gouges or whatever on the reluctor wheel around it. And so if the flywheel looked fine, I probably wouldn't have come in here and I wouldn't have found the entire bolt issue that we found and, quality issue, I guess. But I'm going to throw all this together. We're going to make sure it starts. We might have to look into the injector code, but we'll see what happens there. All right, we're not done finding stuff apparently. I want to say I'm not surprised, but come on, guys. I don't know if you can see. This is just beaten, and I'm guessing it was when they replaced the pilot bearing. Why are you destroying a crank that much? Like, this is like chiseling. And it's all the way down into there. It's all over the edge. Yeah, this is one of those things of there are some people who should work on cars, and there are many people who should not work on cars. This is one of those, whoever did this should not, I don't want to see any more cars that they've touched because it's just scary. Oh my God, this doesn't cease to stop, eh? And I don't know about you, but those lock washers are supposed to be crushed. Putting these back on, I can't be super mad at whoever left these loose. I mean, sure, I'm disappointed, but my shoulder hurts so much because I can't get anything ratcheting in here. is no longer a crank no start. I don't hear an exhaust leak. All right, so as a synopsis, crank no start. It now start. I'll have to check on the codes and whatnot and see what's actually still there because the check engine light wasn't on after I started it. It was kind of boring doing but oh my God, they're like, for just doing a clutch job, there was a lot of interesting fuck-ups. For lack of a better term, if you can think of one, please put it on the comments below. Check your bolts. If they're locking nuts, that doesn't mean you just stop where you think it has to be tight. The nut might not come off, but you want it to be tight. So torque wrench, all that other stuff. Like and subscribe, do all that.
Subscribe!